to order at 6:05. Public comments? No public. All right. General. I'm fine tonight. 33-2-2745 MVH restricted 16-167-75 LECE police training 1,000 public safety fund 1,020.50 donation parks 3,435.56 Audubon utilities 226.14 CCD fund 715.31 NDOT grant fund 48,503.25 water operating 20,908.98 wastewater treatment operating 33,293.18 wastewater treatment construction fund 300 stormwater utility operating 24,1031 payroll 32,336.72 for a grand total of 193,545.15.
I make a motion to approve the claims for August 20th, 2026.
I'll second.
Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Jed?
The Central Avenue, you want to talk about that?
Yes, so there is a rumor, and I haven't been able to confirm it yet, but the rumor is that the person that purchased the lots is not gonna build any more houses, and that he's planning to sell the lots, which brought up the question, because if that's happening, we have the RFP saying that they were going to do that, and that if he was going to sell them without, that he had to ask the town's permission. So I was like, before this happens and we not know anything about it, I wanted to know what our steps were, what we needed to do if that so really is true. And it came from a pretty reliable source, but.
So I think you have two options. You can, well, after you determine that that's true, and I would suggest me sending a letter to make sure that that's not true to him. But if that's what he's thinking he's going to do, you can compel him to perform under the terms of the RFP. I don't, just because apparently his circumstances may have changed doesn't change what we did. I mean, that's the deal. And he's got to keep building those. So if I send him a letter, I would ask him to explain his compliance with these terms. And because even if he's not trying to sell them off, if he's not constructing them at the right rate that he's supposed to be doing that, that he should be called out on that. And if the other option, I mean, it's possible to do is to buy back the ones that aren't built for a pro rata share of the 8 lots that were sold. And if he's got things on 4 of them, then buy them back for $100,000. Not really your problem, but you could then turn around and try and get a developer to come back in and do what you anticipated would be done. I can't believe that you wouldn't use a residential lot on Otterburn for a residence just because of all the towns we represent, you guys are perfectly poised for everything going on in West Lafayette right now. So I guess I'm not crystal clear, other than maybe he extended himself, why he wouldn't be building.
So what does the RFP say again about the one being built, one foundation or something like that?
Within 90 days of closing, the offeror shall commence construction of a single-family home meeting the criteria on at least 2 of the lots. More lots may be started at any time at the discretion of the offeror. In addition to number 1 above, starting with 2 houses within 90 days, the offeror must also start construction of a foundation on an additional lot. construction of this single-family home may stop temporarily until such a time that the offeror has completed and sold one of the lots under item 1 above. After the completion and sale of a single-family home, the offeror shall start another lot under construction. The offeror shall elect to either construct a single-family home on the previously started foundation or an entirely new lot and foundation. That process shall continue until the last lot has been completed. Single-family home has a completed single-family home and is ready for sale. For no more than 90 consecutive days will the offeror have fewer than 2 homes under construction or for sale plus 1 foundation started or paused. The offeror shall not be permitted to resell any lots prior to completing construction of a single-family home without the express written consent of the town of Audubon Town Council. No pre-manufactured homes or other similar building components are acceptable. No lots may be combined, no lots may be divided. Variances will not be considered for initial home construction for changing the allowable setbacks. And storm sewers and drains installed along Central Avenue shall be protected, and any damage caused to them shall be repaired by the offeror, developer, or other responsible party. By signing the bid form below, the undersigned commits to meet or exceed the single-family home criteria and the home construction conditions.
Okay, so how many is down there right now?
There's at least 2 done, 1's been sold.
Yeah.
And
Is it
there's,
2 been sold?
Two been sold.
2 been sold.
One's for sale.
Okay,
and there's nothing else, there's no other foundation or anything.
He's supposed to be doing the 4th foundation, which would be the furthest north on Central.
And there's 8 lots?
Yes.
But he's not got the foundation and 1 house right now.
Right, so he's one house back right now.
So he's,
Okay. He's already fallen behind.
well,
So I just thought I thought that's the way I understood it, and so that was the condition, and then the rumor, I was like,
read the selling condition again, because I thought it said can't sell unless 1 house has been sold, which it has.
So, but it says this scheme is to continue on.
Okay.
So after completion and sale of a single-family home, the offeror shall start another lot under construction. The offeror shall elect to either construct a single-family home on the previously started foundation or start an entirely new single-family home on the remaining unconstructed lot. This process shall continue until the last lot has a completed single-family home and is ready for sale. No more than 90 consecutive days. No more than 90 consecutive days, the offeror will have fewer than 2 homes under construction or for sale plus 1 foundation started or paused. So 2 need to be constructed or for sale, and 1 foundation needs to be
So he's 1 foundation behind.
Okay,
So he sold 2, he's got 1 for sale. If he sold 2, then he's 1 house behind and 1 foundation behind.
Right.
and then now the selling, the lot sell?
The offeror is not permitted to resell any lots prior to completing construction of a single-family home without, meaning on that lot. So that doesn't like free up all of the other lots after you build 1. That's not what that meant. So the offeror shall not be permitted to resell any lots prior to completing construction of a single-family home without the express written consent of the town council.
Okay.
I see how you're reading it. No. That doesn't like unlock your ability to sell the other lots. We want him to sell the lots with single-family homes on it unless you consent otherwise.
Okay.
Because didn't he build 2 of the houses this year? Did he start?
I'm not sure how
Yes.
quick they,
2 of them were permitted back in February or March, which is the one that just sold, and then the one that he's just completing.
Right, I thought he did both of them this year,
Yeah.
started it first of the year.
so I just thought, because if we confirm that that's true, I figured we needed to have a quick,
Well, we
Like
need to let him
something.
know you're monitoring it.
Yeah.
I mean, can I invite him to your next meeting or maybe in a month? So,
See what's going on?
yeah, that's not, uncommon with the way this was set up, that he made commitments on this proceeding timeline, this advancing timeline that, that he's already behind on, it sounds like.
So, yeah, and understand, I mean, is he, other than being behind, then there was a 90-day, consecutive 90-day, right, that nothing,
He's allowed to pause it. Where's the pause language? 98. So a pause lot would be after the first two are sold. If he doesn't build on the third foundation that he's got, that's a paused lot. He can move on to a new lot to start construction. For no more than 90 consecutive days, will the offer have fewer than 2 homes under construction or for sale, plus 1 foundation started or paused?
so I wonder how long it's been since the third one's been done.
I might go back and look, because I just gave him because it's honestly done, because I gave him like this permit for both the last 2,
Okay,
which was put within the last 3 weeks.
Okay,
So he may not be there.
yeah, he may not be out of compliance,
well, except he doesn't have another one started and another
Only
foundation.
because I have that.
but you need another one started within 90 days minus 3 or 4 weeks. If he started one in 2 months, he would be compliant. If he's got 1 foundation, well,
He
if he
doesn't have-
finishes the foundation and starts another house.
Right. He has to have 2 going.
But he does not currently have a foundation, so
Correct.
I was just, like,
Mm-hmm.
we probably gotta know our,
Oh, he used up his poured foundation.
yeah, so he does not have a foundation,
Okay,
so currently.
So in his conversation with me, because I've not heard any of this till now, that, that he was gonna be coming in to get the next permit to start that 4th house, like I said, on the north side of Central. But what I will add to that he had talked to me at one point in time, that on the west side of Central, he was hoping to build duplexes, and I said, you need to go back to your contract because they're single-family homes.
Mhm.
So,
So, I just thought we needed to be ahead of that because the town has a lot of money invested in
Yeah.
getting that street put in and the TIF district started and so, I mean, we were banking on these homes being put back on the tax rolls and being utility
Mhm.
payers, so. Alright,
So, do we need a motion or anything here?
We just
Or
need
just
to-
reach out?
I'll send him a letter, I'll copy you on it and ask him to come in 30 days.
Okay.
Which, that gives him time to get his foundation going and have a explanation of what he's gonna do to comply.
So that would be, that even make it our next, the second meeting in September is the 17th, so that wouldn't even be close, but.
Good.
So he should have one for sale, a foundation, and one
Under
in process.
construction. To be compliant, yes.
Till you get to the end.
Well,
I mean, he can relocate.
that's a sandwich he said he could handle, so.
right,
Right.
All right. Anything else for Judge? For Judge, you have anything else for us?
I don't, I just thought this sounded kind of urgent.
Yeah.
Just so nobody buys it, we've gotta undo things.
Mhm.
But I'll send them the letter tomorrow.
Okey-dokey. Thanks, Jen. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too, Dave. Hey, Dave.
So I don't quite have any action items for the council, other than just updates on projects and things. We had our monthly meeting this morning, and then also right after that, had the pre-construction meeting. with FHS, who's the contractor on the wastewater.
And they brought a contingency this morning.
About 5 people.
Five, 6 people, actively asking questions, actively, and Shannon had them in, here you go. Cause they even brought what was she, the office manager?
Yeah,
The office manager actually came. So we had a full house this morning.
it was good meeting.
That sounds nice, that they brought a team.
They appear very plugged in and engaged, and hopefully that's a good sign, and things will go well. They have not submitted a formal schedule yet, but that's coming. They did indicate that they do want to perform some serious work this fall, so that'll be good to see. It involves both work at the plant and then several lining sanitary sewer sections. So
And what's the lead, what are we waiting on the lead time? What was the?
clarifier equipment is probably
Clarifier
one of the bigger, longer items, and I think they're ready, if they haven't already submitted shop drawings on that. So hopefully that won't be too long coming.
It sounded like they were talking, they were ready to order, they just needed to have everything in place to order it.
And there's procedure steps with Okra too, before they can get the full green light to actually show up and be on site doing work.
That's good.
The other big thing is CCMG, we talked about. You guys established a budget for next year of, you said 124,500.
Yes, good job.
And great, which means with 20% and a CCMG max of 498,000 would make it $622,500 total project budget. I haven't updated numbers, but the priorities, the last time we talked about this, I did bring that. I don't know if you want copies, but don't pay attention to the numbers because they need updated. And these are numbers for the whole.
You got enough for everybody? Or-
I should. I have some extra actually. And really, it's not organized on this printout to be CCMG oriented. It's kind of categorized back with the capital plan where they've got street projects, sidewalk projects, water projects, wastewater projects, and so forth. So there's a lot of things on this list. Some of them have been done, some of them are partially done. In the first page there, the street project section, Main Street Phase 4, that's the southern piece from 5th to 6th Street. We're doing a kind of temporary patch on that because we know that needs stormwater work and infrastructure in the ground first before we rebuild Main Street and put in any curbs or sidewalks and things that are even more costly. Fluke Drive has 2 phases. And again, the total column over there is total project cost. That includes engineering fees as well as inspection fees as well as construction or the right of way or easements. That's all in that total project. So the breakdown of that is not as expensive as 404,000 and 382,000. Those numbers are in kind of probably the ballpark of what your budget is. So Fluke Drive is something that might be potentially able to be done, converting that from gravel to pavement. Second Street, we kind of same approach on Main Street. We're patching a piece of that now. But the intent of this project on the capital plan was to pick up at Brown Street and get this kind of improvement to the east. It says Kirkwood Drive, but it would be more like Indiana probably. Instead of streets getting done. So the sidewalk section, First Street, there's 2 phases of that. The western part, Church to Main, and the eastern part, Main to Indiana. There's still some water line work that's needed to be replaced on the eastern part between Brown and Indiana. But the rest of First Street, there's no other known utilities that need to go in first. So those segments could be tweaked, but recommend probably starting on the west end and working east to do reconstruction type projects and potentially sidewalks to connect through there. I don't know how that would look through road, but we'd have to figure that out. As I started looking at this and comparing it to my notes, I wondered, we're talking about applying for Okra for a stormwater project. And is there a potential where CCD funding and Okra funding and the timing could be lined up to be able to combine 2 grants to go towards one larger project. It might be two actual projects, but one fixed the stormwater issues and one fixed the street, but the same segments, so that that project could maybe go farther. So in the planning of that stormwater, I know there's extending the interceptor on Oxford Street. Oxford Street is not in bad shape as far as curb and sidewalks and the pavement. We've been maintaining that, and that's the whole state highway. But if there's other segments in other parts of town that north of Oxford Street, I don't remember the name of the street. Next one north. That goes east and west. There's some areas in that area, over by the school, and over by the church that, were localized stormwater improvement locations that would be your guys' decision about what the priority is to do in that over project. And certainly there's stuff around River Lake and Second and Vandalia, that needs stormwater infrastructure improvements. But I don't know how that would look and how much that would do, but that's a pretty meaningful project, that kind of total budget of over $600,000.
So, but we're gonna go in for Okra with stormwater for this big project.
The Oxford layer.
Mhm.
Okay, so the discussion on that versus other localized locations.
So, you were busy with the other people when Shannon, Chris and I were talking.
Okay.
So she's getting a Teams meeting set up with the USDA.
Okay.
USDA, she believes that we are going to be in a position that we will probably be able to qualify for a USDA grant as well as the loan. So if we get the loan grant combination, she said whatever that project cost ends up being, the USDA grant would be about 30% and put in the Okra grant at $750 to be able to make a bigger, but we've got to figure out what areas are most important, okay? So she's getting the meeting with USDA set up to get us, like, what's their timeline, what's, that, because it's a big process to go through the USDA. But that's where we can get the 40-year loan versus a 20-year loan, so we can have a bigger project. So she said if we wanted to go in for the Okra spring round, which is what we were aiming, because hopefully this Ready 2 will be going, that we needed to be like getting on this USDA thing like right now. So that's why we should be hearing in just a very short time when this Teams meeting is set up with USDA. And then we'll have our marching orders. If you guys happen to do a PER, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I'll have to get with the finance people to do a preliminary rate study as to what that would look like. Because those two pieces will have to go in with the Okra or the USDA application.
Which is another reading.
But hopefully with a 40-year loan and the possibility of getting a USDA grant on top of an Okra grant, we're getting a lot done at a lesser price. I mean, a lesser impact to residents. So.
And perhaps regardless of the timing of that, areas disturbed by that, if there's more street improvements needed besides just patching a trench or some pavement cuts, CCD can follow up with that and say, we're not gonna overburden the big stormwater USDA project with a bunch of pavement repairs and sidewalks and stuff that you don't wanna overburden that budget with. You could come back kind of more annually and do it in smaller sections or do those improvements through CCMG. So the application window for CCMG is September 1st to September 30th this year for funding later this year and a project next year. So we're under the gun there as well, timing wise. So I don't want you to rush to a decision tonight, but I think at your first meeting in September, we need to probably decide what the project needs to be. And I will work to get updated project estimates and other options for potential projects in an email between now and certainly as far as I can before your meeting. I think Fluke Drive could make a lot of sense. We will need to do some more intense design to make sure that the ditches and things, the profile of the road work, because it's so flat. But when I came up with these numbers, I didn't hold back. I mean,
You overwent, I think, a little bit.
I usually try to. It's
Padded. Yeah.
When we do that, that requires sidewalks.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
And as other development would come, the infrastructure, the sewer and water are there. We would not put road over those, probably they're outside of the road. But the development would put in sidewalk for their frontage as a part of their site plan. And like to what Dollar General did and so forth. If you want, we could do sidewalk, but I don't think there's room for it in the current right of way, and that's, concrete's expensive.
Yeah, I think people would be happy just to drive down it and then pay without. For now.
It's not contemplated in these numbers to be curved and storm inlets, it's open shoulder.
I just,
and ditch.
I don't know if it's been considered, but maybe some consideration of extending the Studebaker Trail that way to PG.
Yeah, it's close, pretty close, so that would be,
Hopefully there'll be more development coming,
yeah.
provide that connectivity as development happens. But if it's a long time, or if it just doesn't look like it's ever gonna happen, town can take that on. If there's enough pedestrian demand. I don't think so.
Okay.
We got our work cut out for us.
Mhm.
Oh, I do have, just because I know you all have seen it, heard it, and everything, we did briefly speak on the Central Street issue of the flooding on Central every time it rains. And, I think you guys are gonna look at that and see
Yeah.
what's going on down there,
It's-
see what we need to do.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, because I wanted to ask about it. I mean, I know when they did the drain, put the one drain in, it's really kind of secluded from Central. And it seemed like that should have been a spot for it, but there's definitely a low spot where everything is congregated.
And we may need to work with Adam while he's building the homes too, to adjust, move, relocate, add more inlets to that pipeline that was put in with Central. And I drove it after our meeting this morning, there are some of the inlets that are higher than the yard they're next to, so they need to be probably lowered. And some grading around those so that they're more of a local low point. But the whole thing goes up to Sixth and near Brown, and it goes into what it goes into, where it was going before. So that's only got very limited capacity. And so once that system is full, it's a matter of what Mother Nature's gonna keep doing.
There's a lot of tile on that in town too. The mysterious tile that you don't know where it's coming from or where it's going
Unless
to.
a little pipe going to a bigger pipe, going to a bigger pipe, no, it's, we got a tile. That's the infrastructure down there, unfortunately.
Okay.
So,
So I had a call from Cindy Budrow, and where they live, she said, it is called Lake Budrow. It is so flooded there, more and above what anybody else back there is. And she asked if I could check on that or know anything about it, why their yard in the back is always, she said 3 and 4 inches of water when everybody else's yard is dry. Theirs always has a lot of water there.
Where's that?
And
That's the end of the stream is.
yeah,
Maybe yours.
I said,
Yeah, the end of
doesn't Treva live on that? She said, yeah, but she's the first one and we're on down and we're always flooded.
They should see the looks of my yard when it rained. My yard is not,
I just said I would
So-
check and see what's going on, why it's all congregating to their backyard.
So I don't know about their backyard.
Well, it's the back.
They would have, so we do not have storms drain on Briar, period.
Oh,
So, I shouldn't say period. We never had storm drain on Briar. Then when, who used to live next to me? Built the house on the corner, farmer, I can't think of his name. When he built the house there next to us on Meadow, Whitmer's, thank you, but
Oh.
I knew I'd get it.
oh, that house.
they were always flooding too.
Mhm.
So we, the town, put a storm drain between my two properties from my two front properties to the ditch on 52. The town did that. And then Bud was able to tile to that, and we were able to tile to that one little side thing. Mr. Bros still could not, he was still flooding in his garage. We used to allow him to pump into our yard, our side yard, and then it would eventually get away, and we helped Mr. Bros that way. Then, Lori and them, they were doing some other work in the front of the front there. And so while they had it opened, they went ahead and extended from where the storm drain goes across Briar in that one section between my properties. And he brought it down and was able to hook in Mr. Bros. That's it. That's all we got on Briar.
So.
Yeah, I mean, this has been
Not the
30
town's
years and we've got to
responsibility?
Mr. Brooks.
So the town won't ever connect them or do anything then, or it's not our responsibility?
Well, it's just another one of those areas. There's a lot of places in town that don't have storm drains, so it just
Okay.
gets put on the list, but,
Okay.
my understanding was when the church built, that flooding back there got worse.
Yeah, that's, she wasn't real happy about that too, that was big issues.
Right, because I remember when that happened and she started getting more water in her yard. We all did in that area.
That's what she said. I said,
So, Mr. Whitmer, bless his heart, got it started for us.
okay,
And and then we extended it basically another block and picked up that house, but
and it's tiles then through there then, or
just a storm tile.
a storm tile?
Down to there.
So they can't really do anything, or?
They're, they couldn't, I mean, if we could get a storm drain all the way down Briar, she would then have to tile her back up to the
storm.
road.
Okay,
But
yeah, that's,
I don't see that ever happening.
Tile into the in-dot ditch.
Okay, next to, I mean, just across to my house's property.
Mhm.
Well, that's, I'm wondering, it's across the street from you, right?
So
It's just
no, they're on the
same-
they're on the
same
same
side.
side.
Mhm.
there's just been a lot of rain and water this year too.
Yeah.
I mean, just, everybody's having
I
problems.
do feel for her because Briar Lane has had issues, but it's true. It's like our yard floods really bad and still can flood really bad. Cindy's backyard has flooded really bad, and then some in between don't. It's just very, yeah, but
Okay, well, I said I would ask and check on it.
Rest.
According to Raindrop, your street has had 12.85 inches of rain this month.
Theirs,
Wow. It's crazy.
mm,
I mean, we're flooding down on Main Street in places we don't normally flood. So, that tells you.
okay.
What was it, 3 weeks ago when we got, what, 6 inches? I felt like I was on an island at my house. It was clear up to my foundation, my whole back, or the backyard was flooded.
That was almost to my sidewalk.
Of all
Once you
years,
get that
of all
much.
years to take my gutters off and I haven't put back up yet.
Oh, shoot,
so
okay,
it is a problem down there for sure, but
okay.
All right, anything Anything else? Any other questions, concerns?
We will look into the central, and try to coordinate any improvements to help it go down sooner. But also probably would like to get with Russell, check if there's nothing clogged or failed with what we can't see from the connections in that, before we connect it to. Because there could be some debris ahead.
Could be very easily with all the flooding that's happened recently. There could be a lot of that in town.
That's all I got.
Tim?
I really don't have a whole lot. I guess one of the things that I would say, because Steve and I had a conversation the other day, and that is, I want everybody to know and understand, our position of what we're trying to do, is we gotta get, obviously, information today, but our goal from day one has been, we wanna get you guys up to speed with stuff that I don't have to be here every day. And we're gonna continue that path to get to that point, so you can have somebody in here, and whatever we have to do to help that person to get up to speed with what they don't understand. So I just want everybody to know, we're working diligently on this side to get all the information to ABC, so we get approved, so we can get this all on the drawing for, your zoning stuff. So, and then all the paperwork that goes along with that. And then with that, which I already have put together, but it's gotta go to ABC too, so they can bring, when they approve it, bring it to you, and that is, what are gonna be more fees that we should be charging that would be more appropriate to this area, so.
Anything else?
The only other thing I would say is, I don't know where you guys are with the whole festival thing this year.
It's good to go.
Well,
Did she get in touch with Jason?
I haven't heard of that.
She was to get,
Yeah, everything's under control. She called me today, because I just got back Tuesday, so.
she was to get a couple security guys, and they had to be approved by Jason. And then she had to get the, volunteers for labor to move and get everything done. And she said she had people in mind and she was gonna get right on it, and
I just know
That's
that
what she said.
one of the bands has already backed out, and I know some of the vendors have already backed out because they already had other things on the schedule, so I just wanna let you guys know that I'm not sure what's all transpiring, because I'm also gonna be out of town.
she has bounce houses, she has a band, she has bingo, she has some vendors, at least that's what she said at the meeting, because
Bouncy houses, I think for the kids, cakewalk, everything is gonna be the same except, flying toasters aren't gonna be
the
here.
band's
We're not
different,
having the
and
fish
there's
fry
less.
or the car show.
Yep.
Those three things.
What about a
Everything else
stage?
is a go. She's already got that,
She has a stage?
yes.
Okay, good,
She just told me that today,
good deal.
So I got in touch with Jason, got in touch with Truva. We got together, figured out what needed to be done, and then we had Tana and we had a meeting. Not last Friday, Tuesday? I don't know, last Friday, time's been. And she was, already had ideas and was moving on it, and she was to contact Jason to get approval on whoever and I haven't heard anything from Jason, so I assumed everything was set to go.
Okay.
So, and Jason asked to be more involved in next year's planning, so we can curb this before it happens, if it happens again.
Good deal.
So we're good with that. Okay, True.
All right, so cornerstone retaining wall. So this is from Tim Kirkhoff they had started the retaining wall last year. They did part of it, and then they had to wait for more money to come in, more money come in. We have our money. So to finish that out is $8,793.02. So that's over my $1,000 threshold. So cannot please have permission to give them a purchase order? Wrong. We'll give the purchase order to Cornerstone.
And the money's in there, ready to go?
It is, all's good.
I'll make a motion to give $8,700 what is it, $98.02 to Cornerstone.
No, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, Russell sent you all the information on what we spray with the mosquito fogger sprayer, whatever you call that thing. So we thought we were gonna have enough, to stretch it the rest of the year, but we do not. If Ron sprays tonight, we only have for one more spray. So, the company that has we got the machine from, we already had that price, which was huge. We checked another couple places, the price was over $3,000 like the other one. Russell then says, I wonder if Helena down here could get it for us. And so he went down to Helena and they can get us a 55-gallon drum of it for $1,375.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Right in town.
Right here
It's
in town. So,
Oh my gosh.
if you would like us to continue spraying, especially with all the water, which floods
Yeah,
causes
it's gonna be
mosquitoes, we
more
need to get some more of this. So, but I knew you had asked for the information as to what it was. So,
Mhm.
did you read that? Are we good?
I don't see that I have it, so maybe it's in my email and I just don't know it, but
Yeah, it's-
I am not seeing anything. Was it from Russell?
Yeah.
It says Brad Smith, Russell, Sarvis, Perm XL label and SDS. On 8/3.
I don't think I got it either. Yeah, it went out to everybody.
You should have got it on 8/3.
8/3.
Okay.
Oh, so Amy got it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Mine says 8-4. Nope, that's not.
See, Jackie responded before.
There you
Did you find it? Amy Brown and 4 others.
Craig was on it.
Linda, Brad, and
go.
Craig.
You found it.
Okay. I did have a question from a couple of ladies at church. Do the guys spray at the same time every week? Because I told them no, it has to depend on wind and weather and all that.
Correct. You are
And
correct.
they said, well, it would help if they knew, and I said, we don't know. Because she's, different allergies or things, and we have our windows open, and then all of a sudden it comes by. And I said, we have no control over that, it's all about the weather.
It is.
So I
Correct.
said, we are researching what all is in it, we have looked at that, so hopefully everything is safe, but I said, they can't spray if it's windy, and I said, if they pick the night where the weather's nicest and when they spray.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's what I said, so.
You did good, Jackie.
Okay. I thought maybe I would try to get a copy of this and give it to them. This is what's in it, and, so I was gonna try to print this out maybe. Yeah, emotional lady.
So the other ones,
Investigation.
This is quite a bit cheaper. I would say whichever we do, we need to kind of go ahead and make a motion for this, to go ahead and get that, because it's cheaper than the other quotes we've had, so I'll make a motion to proceed with Alina.
You're gonna get 2 barrels?
You tell me.
Will one get us through the rest of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, it won't get us
Okay,
through.
well then I say, let's just get one to get us through the rest of the year.
I think one will get 2 years out of it.
We might.
Okay, yeah, I would say one should be good for now.
Do I have a second? Yes. Is that you? Yes. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
I'm abstaining.
One abstain.
We still reading?
All right, all in favor? Oh, we did that one, never mind. All right, do you have anything else?
I do.
Of course you do.
Sorry, but then we just got the information, so, first off, I guess somewhat of good news. We were waiting for our health insurance premium increase, what that's gonna look like for 27. So, when they gave us the estimates, they were telling us to budget for a 9% increase. So that's what we've been working in our budget. They are pleased to announce that the overall 2026 trust renewal rate is 5.8%. For the upcoming individual renewal, depending on your town and your claims into the trust, into the insurance, range from a minimum of 3.3% and up to, some people did get the 9% increase. The town of Otterman is 3.3. Yay!
Yay.
So that was way good information to have. There were some things that I wanted to talk to you about, and so you can pass that. So when we first went with the Trust Indiana, we went from having no health insurance for the employees to a little history for those that's new. So we started with the Trust Indiana, and we did a high deductible plan, and at the time, the high deductible plan was $3,000, and our dollars, then it was 100% covered. The town of Otterburn also covered through an HSA, contributing that $3,000 to the HSA plan. So we deduct and have deducted from 2021, the employee only pays $10 a month, or not a month, $10 a paycheck for their health insurance, and the $3,000 used to cover the deductible. This year, it was $3,400 deductible. So they are now having to come up with the $400 of their deductible, and they still have stayed at the $10 a paycheck. We only cover, the town only covers the employee. So if a person has family or a spouse or kids or whatever, they're 100% having to pay that out of their own pocket. We only take care of the employee. So I just wanted you to understand where we've been. So in front of you is the current plan. Is we're on what they call Plan 7. So if you look at, I think it's the next page I gave you, looks like this, except mine's a little weird. We are Plan 7. So our individual deductible will be $3,500 if we're in network. Most everything around here is in network. The family deductible is 7,000. After that is met, so we have to pay that, the employee has to pay that first 3,500, or if they have a family, the first $7,000. And then, but once that's met, the insurance is paying 100% coverage.
So not bad.
Right, so that's a very good plan that we have. So the individual, so our deductible is gonna be 3,500 next year. So, in the beginning, the employees only had to pay $260 a year, $10 a paycheck. 260, now they're up to $660 out of pocket. Next year, if we don't increase the HSA or change plans, it'll go up to $760 a year out of their pocket, which is not bad. But I just wanted to say this is where we started, that they were just getting their insurance for $10. And it does keep increasing for them as well as it's increasing for us, for town. So that's what next year will be, is if we stay with Plan 7. The only other one I would think you might consider is Plan 8. That's going to make that deductible, instead of $3,500, $4,500. Everything else is the same after you meet that deductible. It's 100% covered. If we stay with only the $3,000 that we're putting in the HSA, that increases what the employee would pay out of pocket for the entire year if they used it, if they had to use it all. $1,760 would, if they had that much medical. But the town would save $60.36 a person. I don't think that's a huge savings to the town, and it puts a bigger burden on the employee. But then I give you all sorts of options. If we just did Plan 7 and we brought them up to the $3,500, that puts them back down to the $260 that they used to only have to pay, the $10 a paycheck. And that would make the town, instead of an increase of $269.88 a person, which is what we're looking at our increase being now, that would make our increase go to $769.88 per person. And then I have all these other options that puts us all both in, like the last one, we split it. So we go to Plan 8, a $4,500 deductible, but we cover $4,200 of that. That increases the town per person $879. It increases the employee up to $820. So I was like, I wanted to give you options. So what we have to do is by September 4th, they don't give us a lot of turnaround. I have to go in and I have to say, this is the plan we're offering our employees for 2027. So we can stay where we're at. We can do any other options you want to look at, but we just got this, and I have to have that decision tool filled out and back to them by September 4th. So.
They would be happy with Plan 7, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say we stick with Plan 7, and really the decision would be, do we just leave it at the 3,000, or do we
Increase it.
increase 3,500? That would be where
Whichever you think would work best for the employees or whatever you guys think.
Why did we? So that's the HSA that we're seeding, right?
Yes.
And we're putting in 3,500, which covers the deductible.
We're currently putting in 3,000 because that's what it currently was.
No, so when we started in 21, it was 3,000. It has been increasing $100 or so a year, most years anyway. So now next year it's 30, so this year it went to 34. So where it used to be, the deductible was covered by the HSA, it has not been. like it used to be. So they've been paying some of their,
$200.
couple $100 of their deductible a year. So we can continue that, and with the HSA has been going up. Our deductible's been going up about $100 a year. So either the employees just keep adding that $100 to their share, or we start covering it again like we used to. That was the real question, but then when Plan 8 was so close to Plan 7, it was like, do we get a bigger bang for our buck if we move it up but cover more of the HSA to cover most of it? That's what I was like trying to weigh that out, and I'm like, well, council needs to weigh this out.
I hear your numbers and what you're telling me, but I need to see it on paper. I need to see like their premium, where is that here? Their premium is $260, that's right now for the year, right? So the employee takes $260 a year, so 100.
So yeah, so the medical and dental the medical and prescription up at the top is $681.41. And they're paying $260 of that, and we're paying the rest of it a year. So that's the monthly, the $681.41 is monthly. We also cover the dental at $28.16, the vision at $6.15, the life insurance of $6. So monthly is $721.72, which equals $86.60 a year. They're paying $260, we're paying the remainder of it. Plus, the deductible is $3,500, and we've been paying $3,000 of the $3,500. And so then when you go across the top, so next year instead of $681.41 a month, the premium's going up to $703.90, and then all the way across. The dental and the vision and the life insurance isn't changing. There's no increase in any of those.
Because that's nice that the town has that for them.
Oh, just the insurance in general, because we're one of the few small towns that actually offer the insurance.
So while you guys are thinking through that, I'm just gonna tell you where we're at on the budget process. So after we had our budget meeting, I was hearing the things like, we still thought that we weren't very competitive with the marshal police officer salaries to be competitive and us not lose our people. And I heard, if there was money for the police car, let's see where we fell in those numbers. So, we had been proposing for next year, Jason at 71,000, Chris at 58,000, and Austin at 50,000. I've been able to wiggle up 75,000, 62,000, and 55,000, and that does seem to put them more in line with the people in our area. So I can fit that into the budget, or I can take that, basically that's an additional 4,000 for each of those, that $12,000 towards a car, but I still haven't been able to come up with the other, I needed 30,000. So I'm still working on it. Obviously, this was proposed at a 9% increase. I now know that I can adjust those numbers down. But also adjusting those numbers down, the 9% allows us to do any of these that helps all the employees is what I'm saying. Like if we wanted to up the health insurance or the HSA, that works within that 9% increase, since we're only getting a 3.3% increase. So that's where we're at the moment. Everything else is pretty good in the budget. It's just down to that, you know, if you want to help all employees and get them a little more on the HSA, do you want these to be more competitive salaries? Do you want a police car? I mean, we're still at that discussion. I do not believe it's all going to fit. So that was gonna be my last question of the night. So I thought, before you're looking at this, let me give you the rest of the story.
We get good police officers, and then as soon as they're here a year or two, we're not paying them enough, and then they leave. And we've had that happening for years.
Yes.
I mean, it would be nice to be competitive with the pay, so we would get officers, Jason trains them and works with them, and then they leave. So,
They help all of them this way.
yeah, so I don't know, do they want pay or do they want a car, you know?
Well, I mean, even if you pay more, then where's the money coming for a car next year, or the car after that? I mean, you don't have a budget anymore. You literally cashed it out.
Well, I don't know, I guess.
Okay, how do they do like Chris's car? I mean, do you trade that in when it gets too many miles on it? When does, like,
So they've been doing it based on years, not really mileage. And so we've been trading about every 6 years. So we would be trading the 2020, that is now a 20, so if we put the order in now, it's not coming until next year, so it'll be a 7-year-old vehicle. But the mileage, I don't remember what that was, but it's pretty low mileage. That's gonna start cranking up now that we have another officer.
Do they share the car then? The officer and Chris share the car?
Yeah,
and
so we
Jason
have-
has his car?
So we have, yeah, so we'll have 3 full-time officers with 2
The
cars.
2 cars, okay.
So,
yeah, I didn't know when it was time for like.
so
Chris
I
to
don't
get a car. don't know how many.
I don't know if year versus mileage, that's not to be racist, but that's a man's job. I don't understand all, you know, do you work at mileage or do you look at years of, do you look at
Right.
something in between? I don't know. But,
Well, and theirs is mileage and idle time. Like
right, and he
Jason
does
says
not
idle.
have,
Engine hours.
Yeah,
and the engine hours
Thank
is
you.
not much either.
Right.
Yeah, so the engine hours haven't been much either. So we don't have a lot of miles on the car yet, and we don't have a lot of hours on the engine for the year of the car.
Okay.
That I do know is true. When you say we eat it up in salaries and then we don't have money other places, that is not always true, because we don't just increase our budget every year like a percentage, right? We take every year from the bottom and we say, this is what we're going to have to spend. So do we need a truck? Oh, this year's a truck? Okay, great. So you don't get your police car. Oh, this year's a backhoe, or the next 12 years is the backhoe loan payment. So this is not gonna happen. So we have money, it's just which department gets it at the time. So, and we look at that every year at budget time, when they come to us and they say, here's our wish list, and here's our needs, we look at what their needs are, what their wishes are. We always try to do the needs first, and then here's what's left for the wishes. So that's how we do it. We just don't do it across the board. We go down every year to the, and build our budget every year. So, but yes, I mean, the more you pay in salaries, the less there is for those bigger items. That's true, but it's not like across the board, it's up and down.
Depends on the income as well.
Right.
Right.
Because some years we'll get money, some years we won't. This whole local income tax that the state is restructuring, They were saying that a lot of communities were gonna lose money, and they had us all scared we were gonna lose money. So I told you that I was gonna be going to those must meetings, so I went to Tippecanoe County first, Dee and I went, and their estimates, and right now it's just an estimate until the legislators get done playing with their numbers, that as what is being proposed now, Otterman is going to get more money, not less money. So it is working in our favor. Now, there were towns in Tippecanoe County that will lose. Like our little library will lose. Some of the townships are gonna lose. But town of Otterman, we were gaining on the Tippecanoe County side. Like, so that's more money for us to share and buy cars and whatever we need. So, I'm like, I'm not seeing the negative here. So then we went to the Benton County last meeting, and they did the same scenario. And although not as big of an increase, the towns were still, most of the towns were going to still see an increase. If they did what we were estimated would happen. These are all estimates at the moment. So what they're doing is, so I'm just gonna use the thing of Benton County. To make Fowler stay and not lose any money. That's what they were looking at. Who's gonna lose the most, or and how do we keep them whole, right? So to keep, and we all have to have this certain percentage now based on population, not how it's going to go now. So for Fowler to stay somewhat whole and not lose a lot of lip money, to make that percentage happen, that's making Otterburn and the smaller communities get a bigger piece of the pie. Because they don't get them to be saved and us not. The percentage is going to be the same. So for them to set the rate for Fowler not to lose, Otterburn, Boswell, Oxford were gonna gain. So that's the gain that's being. So what's gonna happen is now we'll go to these second must meetings, and then we're gonna start talking about, well, can Fowler lose a little so that we're not gaining so much? And the county council gets to decide the rate, not
Not the state.
not the state. The county council will decide what that rate is going to be set at. They're just being given the information of, if you want everybody to be here, this is where your rate needs to be. So, and we're capped at what that rate can be. But in both counties, neither one was asking for the rate to be at the max. Neither county needs to ask for the max. So the impact on the people paying the tax is still not like it could be. So I did feel better after those must meetings that Otterburn is going to be in a different situation than some that will lose. So that was good. But so these second must meetings, then we give all of our input, and then the county has to both counties will make comments to the Department of Local Government Finance. Those comments will then be in January walked over to the State House for the legislators to decide. Do we want to leave our plan the way it is, the way it's passed? Or do we need to modify it, and if they're gonna modify it, what it is? So that's where we don't know, we know what's being proposed, or what the law is now, but there's chance yet for it to be modified, good or bad. So that's how the process is working. So I am glad that the legislators said, you know what, let's have these must meetings, let's hear what the locals are saying. I felt that was good, rather than just say, we're making this decision and it is what it is. So I hope good comes from these MUS meetings and then good information gets given to the legislators and then listen to what that means. So those were good meetings.
Positive.
So, that's what I know about that. So now back to,
Okay, the guys.
do we work on increasing HSA is what I'm hearing or not, or just leave the increase the way the increase is? Do we put in the budget these increases? And I still hope with the savings we find enough for the car, but if we don't, are we willing to sacrifice the car for the increases in salaries and benefits?
What do you think the guys would want?
So I don't know what the three guys would want, but you have to look at
Entire.
Because
the insurance covers all employees, right? It touches everybody that is here. And the other two are police only touches.
Yeah, no, I think everybody needs to have good insurance and cover all employees that way.
I mean, I don't, if we can make it all fit, let it all fit.
Right.
Just me as a person, that I would think that taking care of your people is more important than a car that it's in the normal rotation cycle, but it's not a car that's ready to break down and fall apart. That's just my 2 cents. Of course, I would like to fund it all.
Well,
I just know my number so far was
we
not doing that yet.
My thought is to cover the increase on the insurance, to cover everybody. And then wiggle room their pay raises. And even if it's not as much as you calculated there, it could still be something, right? But.
So when the phone tower comes in and gets going, that income
Right,
can
could be
be
used
used
for,
for helping out by purchasing a car.
yeah.
So we increase salaries and take care of them in that way now, then next year, assuming the town comes in,
insurance is first though.
And we need that.
insurance, yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you, my only hang up on the insurance is I get concerned with putting so much money in the HSA. And I get it, it's to cover the deductible, but at the same time, if they don't use it, that's lost.
What do you mean it's lost?
HSA money is lost at the end
No,
of the
it's
year.
not.
Because it's a savings,
No,
it's a savings.
that's
FSA.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
HSA
thanks,
is not.
thanks.
Yeah,
HSA is
Yeah.
like a savings account.
Cause
And the other,
I was
yeah.
thinking it, FSA.
and the FHA
My
is
bad,
the
never
one
mind.
that
I'm
you
done.
use.
I'm good. I am good with it, thanks for correcting me, cause my mind was stuck on FSA. not FSA.
This is funny because we just had this conversation with Kayla last night, because she's getting a new job, and she was like, Dad, I have no idea what any of this, all these initials mean, I have no idea. So we had a round table last night on insurance and the deductibles and the savings plans and the this and the that, so.
So what I am hearing is
Feel really stupid.
increase HSA, stay with Plan 7, increase HSA to the 3,500.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's what you heard.
Increase HSA. Plan 7. Okay,
So that's not
Since I-
that bigger at HSA,
No,
no,
it's
it's
just,
just our normal Plan 7.
it's the normal plan 7.
because I mean, the 2027, you got 3,000 still listed.
But you're saying to increase it.
It's on over, if you go on over Plan 7, bigger HSA, the first column, that's increasing it up to 3,500.
Okay.
My plan, my 2027 is if we just did what we currently do with the increase in health insurance, and the employees would be going up from 660 to 760 out of pocket.
Okay.
So this bigger HSA would cover their deductible and it would make them go back down to the 260 instead of every year increasing what they take. So increase HSA to 3,500 in Plan 7. So I am gonna ask you to make a motion for that because I'm having to fill out the decision tool and I wanna know that y'all are backing what I'm putting in that decision tool.
Make a motion to accept the Plan 7 with bigger HSA.
Second.
Jackie.
Since
All in
it's not
favor?
FSA.
Aye. All opposed? There you go.
And then I don't need a motion on this, I just wanna clarify, then next, if the budget allows the increases in those salaries, and then thirdly, if money still allows paying for the police car. Those are
Right, yes.
that's the targets you want me
Yeah.
to work on, and the order you wish me to work on. Okay. Okay,
It would just be nice to have 3 police officers more than 1 year or 2 years at a time.
Austin starts September 1st.
I think so.
What's his name?
Austin.
Austin.
He's been following Jason, so when we had our meeting with Tam about the street festival, he came, sat in on a meeting with us. And he's been in office. He's pretty much been shadowing Jason,
That's good.
so.
Anything else, Ms. Treva?
No, I am done.
Any others? Okay, need a motion to adjourn at 7:22.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed?